Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Crypto Invest. Today is another wild day for Bitcoin. So today we are going to continue to talk about Bitcoin, and we are also going to talk about some of the news related to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. As always, this is for informational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice. So let's get into it. So Bitcoin recovered all the way from yesterday up to around $10,800. Just so it taken another step backward to around $9,100. So this morning when I woke up, Bitcoin was around 9,200. And now it has been stabilizing around 9,700. It looks like the last 6 hours or so, Bitcoin is moving sideways, consolidating. So take a look at the entire market. Overall, most of the major coins are down, but not by much compared to yesterday's pricing. So Bitcoin overall is down less than 5% in the last 24 hours. Ethereum also less than 5%. Bitcoin Cash down a little more than that at 7.36%. And then Ripple is down 5.19%. But what you just see here, and this has been the case since yesterday, is that the average price for CoinMarketCap for Bitcoin is around 9,962. And what you are looking at on your screen is Coinbase. So Coinbase, it's around $200 less, and this has been the case since yesterday. Typically, Coinbase price is pretty close to the average price for Bitcoin on CoinMarketCap. So I thought that was interesting. Now, as far as news, there are really no notable news about Bitcoin. So the pricing action you see here with a lot of volatility in the last 48 hours are driven purely because of one, speculation, and two is emotion. So this whole thing that Bitcoin going from 11,470 all the way to as low as 9141 as of earlier today, all of that was driven by just speculation and by emotions. So yes, this huge candle here coming down was in fact because of the big sales order, but since then the market just kind of like undecisive. So a lot of sellers show up and a lot of buyers show up. So I gotta say though, in this kind of situation, you will see a lot of people weighing in their opinions whether or not they are in favor of Bitcoin going up or they are bearish on the whole situation. So more than anything, this particular time you need to be able to cut out all the noise in the market. So there are quite a few important headline that I want to make sure that you are aware of. So let's start with Ronnie Moe. He has revised his target for 2018 at $20,000, and his original target, as many of us know, was 11,000, and then he raised it to 14,000 a few weeks ago. But because of the pricing action has really outpaced expectation, you know, really a lot of people think that we won't see Bitcoin at 10,000 until probably within the first quarter of 2018. But as you know, we have seen now that is the end of November, and we have seen 11,000. So that really is a big achievement for Bitcoin price. So therefore, Ronnie has revised his prediction to 20,000 for 2018. And one of the things that he's focusing on about Bitcoin versus any other cryptocurrencies, because of the fact that this year alone we have seen a number of forks from Bitcoin, starting with Bitcoin Cash and then Bitcoin Gold, and then now we have Bitcoin Diamonds, and then there's gonna be more down the road, because forking Bitcoin seems to be a very profitable way to make money currently. And of course, if you are a Bitcoin holder, you are a receiver of all the fork. Regardless of how much the fork gonna work, investor does looking at that as some sort of dividends. So he does see the value in holding Bitcoin over other cryptocurrencies. That's one of the factor as to why he revised his prediction for 2018. Of course, Matt Kaiser from the Kaiser Report, he continued to push for $100,000. in the next couple of years. So let's hope he's right. In another news is Goldman Sachs. They are still on the sideline as far as trading Bitcoin. And as you know, their CEO Floyd Blankfein, he has sent out a couple tweets. He said he's not against Bitcoin. He's not for Bitcoin. Himself and Goldman Sachs are evaluating the pros and cons of trading Bitcoin. Blankfein says Bitcoin is not for me, but there's a lot of things that weren't for me in the past that have worked out pretty well. If it was 20 years forward and it worked out, I could tell you why it worked out. But based on everything that I know, I am not guessing that it will work out. He also mentioned that one of the main uses of Bitcoin is a vehicle to perpetrate fraud, and that is maybe because you can't trace it. But he also said that sold cash. But guess what? It is hard to accumulate cash sometimes. So at this moment, Goldman Sachs is not ruling out Bitcoin as a vehicle that they will invest in. They are still thinking about that. And overall, people take this to be a positive comment as far as Bitcoin adoption for institutional bank. And Goldman Sachs is a very big investment bank. In another news, the Bank of England saying that Bitcoin is not a threat for global economy at the moment. And the basis for this statement is that Bitcoin is just not big enough. The Bank of England Deputy Governor, Sir John Cunliffe, I may have said his last name incorrectly. If I did, I apologize for that. But in an interview with BBC Radio 5 Live, he says that this is not at a size where it is a macroeconomic risk to the global economy. But when the prices are moving like that, my view would be an investor needs to do their homework. This is not a currency in the accepted sense. There's no central bank that stands behind it. For me, it is much more like a commodity. So that's the basis of his view as far as Bitcoin. And overall, the Bitcoin community and also the cryptocurrency community look at this statement to be fairly positive. On the opposite spectrum, a Nobel Prize winner saying that we should ban Bitcoin because Bitcoin, well, he said that cryptocurrency like Bitcoin should be banned, and it was on Bloomberg TV. And the reason why he thinks it should be banned because it's too volatile. It go up and then it go down. It's gonna hurt a lot of people. Therefore, he thinks that it should be banned to keep people away from getting involved with cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Now, this article point out that, well, if that is the case, then we should also ban the FANG stocks. So FANG is an acronym. It stands for Facebook, Apple, Netflix, and Google. Those are the four basically largest tech stocks currently on the market. This article pointed out that on the same day that Bitcoin declined recently, which is in the last couple of days, the FANG stocks combined, they have lost a total of $60 billion US, while people who hold Bitcoin only lost $3 billion US. Therefore, if you want to protect the consumer, you should also ban the FANG stocks. Even though from a dollars perspective, it makes sense that the FANG stock lost 60 billions versus Bitcoin only lost about 3 billions in the same time frame. However, the $3 billion for Bitcoin is a much larger percentages than the $60 billion for FANG stocks overall. And overall, we do know that Bitcoin has the tendency to go up and down 5% or 10% a day. That's pretty standard for Bitcoin. However, for the FANG stocks, it's definitely not normal for Facebook, Apple, Netflix, and Google to go up and down 5 to 10% a day. They are much more stable than that because that's a much more liquid and bigger market. So that's just my take on that. However, I don't think that banning Bitcoin will protect consumer. I think in some sense it's gonna actually hurt consumer even more. If Bitcoin really is the future of money, it really is a future store of values, banning people from using that while other countries allowing people to use it, you are gonna end up hurting the people that you try to protect a lot more. And that's just my 2 cents. And the last piece of news I want to cover really quickly, and then we can go into the main topic today, which is talking about the Bitcoin price. I do want to share a couple things with you, but let's get through this one. So I want to talk about this one because it's quite important for those who are using Coinbase, especially those who are currently in the USA. So as you know, 12 months ago, the IRS have sent a request to Coinbase to gather all information. So they want people name, they want people information, they want people account, they want to know how much they trade, how much they sell, they want their password, they want everything from Coinbase, because they are under the impression that people are not filing their gains and losses from cryptocurrencies to the IRS, which is the Internal Revenue Service, which is the tax agency in the USA. Of course, Coinbase fight back, and it has been going on for about 12 months now. And finally, I think the final decision is that the IRS is going to only get people information, customer information from 2013, 2015 only, and they will only get information on those who have traded $20,000 or more. So which equate to less than 1% of all Coinbase total customer base. So this, in Coinbase perspective, is a partial victory, and in some sense is also a partial victory for the IRS as well. You know, certainly if you are a part of this group that has been with Coinbase since 2013 and has traded for more than $20,000, I would say, you know, if you think that you have not filed your taxes correctly, I definitely recommend you to go see a tax consultant for more information. Alright, so all of that just so we can get back to Bitcoin. And the reason why I want to show you all the main headlines today, just to show you that there's nothing that really signal as to whether or not Bitcoin price will go up or down, or to explain why this is happening, the volatility of Bitcoin. But I do want to show you something. Well, first, if you take in a look on your screen, this is a screenshot to show you that as of earlier today, Coinbase App, which is an application for Coinbase Exchange, which is the largest exchange in the world currently, serving mostly US customer and UK customer. It is top of the finance section of the App Store for Apple. And if you take in a look at the total apps, so just now you are looking at just Coinbase for the finance section, but if you taking a look for Coinbase in the total app for the App Store, it is placed number 12. And just so you know, this is significant because the App Store is huge. It has millions and millions of apps. Every day there are more and more applications, and applications just about anything, any aspect. So the fact that Coinbase app can basically sit right next to Google Map and Spotify Music in terms of popularity, that is huge. And that also shows you that the interest of the public for cryptocurrencies and especially Bitcoin is really high right now. It's probably the highest it has ever been since the inception of Bitcoin. And I only expect Bitcoin to be even more popular by tomorrow, because today the Big Bang Theory is gonna air its highly anticipated Bitcoin episode. The more investors coming into this space, especially the new investors, the more volatility you will see, because they are going to panic. Especially for those who invest for a long time, you know that Bitcoin has always recovered from any major dip. But those who are new, they're gonna panic. They either panic buy or panic sells. So a lot of this could be causing because of all the new investors that come into this space the last couple of months. As you know, Coinbase has onboarding a significant amount of customers. You know, someday they have processed over 100,000 new customers per day. That is quite significant. And next, I want to take a step back from cryptocurrencies and try to put things in perspective for you. And I actually got this idea from watching another YouTube channel called the Coin Mastery, run by a gentleman named Curtis Thomas, and I highly recommended you to follow that YouTube channel. It inspired me in terms of cryptocurrencies and trading, and I get a lot of good insight from that show. So highly recommend it. So I borrowed this one from him today because I want to drive home the point I'm trying to make. So if you're looking at your screen today, this one was a post from Russell Lamberti, and he posted this on Twitter showing that Apple stocks basically from the end of 1995 until 2001. So Apple stocks went from 70 cents a share all the way up to around $5.25, and then immediately crashed after that back to where it came from. Now, if you take a look at the Bitcoin price, some people can draw some parallel to that. What if Bitcoin go all the way to 1,000 and crash down to 10 cents? But I want to show you this. If you zoom out a little more and see the entire picture from 2001 all the way into 2017, what you will notice here is that currently Apple price is sitting at around 175, not counting all the split that it already has. And if you're looking at the .com bubble, which is back in 2000 and 2001, that little arrow right there, that is what you saw here. So if you are looking at this whole chart until 2001, you will see that Apple is over, it's done, never going to recover from this. But if you take a look at a much longer perspective, you will see that right there that you thought was the end of Apple stock, which is actually a tiny bump on the road. And I hope this put things into perspective. If you are taking a look at the Bitcoin price currently, and you only taking a look at it from a 30-day standpoint, you will have a different perspective if you're taking a look at it from, let's just say, from a daily chart over a long time frame. You will see a different pictures. So I did have to switch to a different exchange, to Bitfinex, so I can get more pricing data for you. So if you take a look at the daily candle for Bitcoin since basically 2016, so as of 12 months ago, you started to see a different picture of where Bitcoin came from and where we are today, right? So eventually this dip right here that you are so worried about currently, it's just gonna be a minor dip in the grand scheme of things. Remember, there's still a lot of exciting things going on in this space, a lot of excitement, a lot of big people are really excited about what Bitcoin will be in the next couple of years. Ronnie Moe to be one of them, Goldman Sachs thinking about it. Yesterday we talked about Matt Kaiser, we talked about Tommy Lee and how excited he is for Bitcoin price, and of course we also talk about John McAfee, where he thinks Bitcoin will get to $1 million US. So a lot of excitement coming up, a lot of money still waiting on the sideline, a lot of institutional money is not even here yet. We have a long way to go. Are we in the bubble currently? No one can tell you with the definitive answers as far as how much of a bubble we are in. However, even if we see a major correction, I think this is still, at the end of the day, a small bump in the road if you're looking at Bitcoin from a 5 years to 10 years perspective, where this thing can really be. And I don't want anyone to be scared out of the market. Of course, this is not financial advice. I do want to give you perspective on where we are, where we came from, and hopefully this particular illustration really help you out to understanding where we are and look at Apple over the long run, help you out a little bit. There are a lot more at play here. You know, for a lot of us, investing is to make money, to have a better life. But for a lot of people, you know, Bitcoin is a lot more than just investing for them. It's survival. You know, look at this post from Eduardo Gomez. I also learned about this post from Coin Mastery TV. So I give credit when credit is due. But this is really, you know, close to home for me because, you know, this person, Eduardo Gomez, talk about Bitcoin. You know, today, 1 BTC, 1 Bitcoin is worth 1 billion bolivars, which is the Venezuela local currencies. As you know, Venezuela had a lot of political turmoil and also economic turmoil. There are hyperinflation, and you know, Bitcoin really is the safe haven for the people there to be able to just function. You know, we thinking of Bitcoin as far as, you know, what we can do to make a lot of money from cryptocurrencies. A lot of us, including myself as investors, nothing wrong with that. But do realize that there are a lot bigger things at play here, and how lucky we are to be in the space where we think of Bitcoin as an investment vehicle when other things of Bitcoin as a life-changing event. So there's a bigger picture at play here. You can read on and on. A lot of articles talking about how crypto changed people's life. Very inspiring. You know, a lot of articles in Steemit talking about how their life completely changed at all because of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. So we can sit here and talk about whether or not Bitcoin is in the bubble, whether or not Bitcoin is going to go to 20 grand or it's going to go back to 5K. I think regardless of what it is, this is an opportunity for us to really, at least for my generation, to really change your life if you do this correctly. As long as we get the right information and as long as we are up to date and we believe in what the future could bring, this really have that power to change your reality, to change your financial forever. Say you put $10,000 into cryptocurrencies, right? Not just Bitcoin, but cryptocurrencies overall. And it turned out to be a flop, right? Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency turned out to be just a fab. And it's all go to zero. The day that you going to leave this world, the day that you are on your deathbed, would you rather saying that in 2017 I invest $10,000 into Bitcoin and I lost $10,000? Or would you rather say that I wish in 2017 I have invested some money into Bitcoin, my entire life could have changed for the better from a financial standpoint, which also allows you to do other things with your life, right? Is the $10,000 matter that much at the end of your life? So I just want you to think about that. It's something that I think about all the time, and it's really up to you to make that determination. And $10,000 isn't just a number that I throw out. It could be 1,000. It could be whatever the amount is that you think are significant to you at the moment. And would that amount be significant by the time that you going to pass away, and knowing that you didn't take the opportunity where you could have, or you took the opportunity and it turned out to be nothing more than a fab? Which one is better for you? So I'm sorry to ramble on this video. It has been a rough couple of days. I do get a lot of questions from friends and family, and people on YouTube. I do run a couple channels. This channel is in English, but I also run another channel in Vietnamese, and I do get a lot of questions as to what is going on with the market. So I do want to talk a little more about the market and psychology with you. So with that, I hope that this video helped you out. Hit the like button if you think that you like the content, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get the most updated information. And with that, I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.